You've been told vitamins are always good for you, essential, protective, even life-saving. But what if some of them are silently making your legs weaker, your steps shakier, and your independence slip away? After 57, the rules change, and taking the wrong kind, or too much, can quietly chip away at your strength without you even realizing it. In this video, you'll discover the hidden side of 4 common vitamins and how they may be sabotaging your mobility. If staying active, steady, and sharp matters to you, hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications, because this is the kind of knowledge most people never hear about until it's too late. Excess vitamin E silently weakens leg muscles. Most people hear vitamin E and instantly think heart health, glowing skin, and a magic bullet for aging. It's sold as one of those can't-go-wrong supplements. But here's the kicker. When it comes to seniors, too much vitamin E isn't just unnecessary, it can quietly chip away at muscle strength, especially in the legs. Because it's fat-soluble, it doesn't just pass through the body like water-soluble vitamins. It sticks around, builds up, and when you go over 400 IU daily, particularly through supplements, it can start interfering with how nerves communicate with muscles. This subtle interference can create a kind of muscle fog. You know, that feeling where your legs just don't seem to respond the way they used to. It might show up as fatigue going up the stairs or stumbling while walking on uneven ground. It's not dramatic, not at first, but it grows. And for seniors, especially those already dealing with blood thinners, this quiet weakening raises the risk of falls, a life-altering hazard after a certain age. Let's bring this closer to reality. Imagine a retired teacher named Linda, who's been taking vitamin E daily for skin and heart health since her 50s. She also happens to take warfarin for a heart condition. Lately, she's been struggling with her balance, even falling during a grocery run. Her doctor runs tests, only to discover her vitamin E levels are through the roof. Turns out, her supplement habit was silently turning her legs against her. It's these kinds of stories, common and underreported, that paint the real picture. And it doesn't mean vitamin E is bad. It just means the line between beneficial and burdensome is thin. Seniors need to know when to stop or cut back. It's not about cutting out all supplements, but about knowing what's safe, what's excessive, and what's silently dragging down your strength. Because what feels like aging might actually be something else entirely. And that opens the door to something far more important in the next topic. Too much vitamin A erodes bone and muscle strength. Vitamin A often gets praised for its superhero benefits: strong vision, healthy skin, boosted immunity. It's in multivitamins, fortified cereals, and even skin creams. But when seniors go overboard, especially with preformed vitamin A like retinol, it quietly piles up in the liver and soft tissues. This isn't something the body flushes out easily. And over time, that buildup begins to erode, not build, your bones, especially in critical areas like hips and legs. Here's where things get sneaky. Excess vitamin A reduces bone mineral density, which makes bones more brittle. It's like your body's foundation slowly softening under your feet. You might not notice it at first, just a little more soreness, a bit of stiffness. But it's all connected. Less density means more risk of fractures. And in the elderly, a single hip fracture can lead to months or even years of lost mobility and independence. Let's say there's someone like Mike, a 62-year-old who takes a multivitamin, eats fortified foods, and occasionally adds a cod liver oil capsule, just to stay sharp. He thinks he's covering his bases. But when he slips and fractures his femur, the bone scan shows significant loss. The doctor traces it back to years of quietly stacking vitamin A from multiple sources. Mike never knew he was slowly weakening the very structure he wanted to protect. So the solution isn't to fear vitamin A, it's to respect its power. For seniors, it means reassessing multivitamin labels, looking out for retinol palmitate, and choosing beta-carotene-rich foods like sweet potatoes or carrots instead. These plant-based sources don't build up dangerously. They're safe, smart, and still give the benefits without the bone damage. And when bones start to wobble, the next domino to fall is something even more delicate: nerve health. Vitamin B6 overuse damages nerves and causes leg numbness. Vitamin B6 is often sold as the go-to for energy, mood, and brain health. You'll hear people say it helps with focus, hormonal balance, or even premenstrual symptoms. But here's something most labels don't scream about. In high doses, B6 doesn't boost, it breaks. Anything over 100 milligrams a day, especially over time, can damage your nerves. And for seniors, that damage tends to creep into the legs first, starting with numbness and an odd sense of instability. Imagine walking across your living room and feeling like your feet aren't entirely connected to your body. That's not clumsiness. That's peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage, often caused by years of supplementing without realizing the risks. The body needs B6, yes, but only in small doses. When there's too much, it starts acting like a toxin. And once those nerves go, they don't come back easily. This isn't a short-term tingle. It could be a lifelong struggle with mobility. Take someone like Mike, again, yes, the same Mike. He swapped vitamin A for a brain health cocktail his friend recommended, packed with 250 milligrams of B6 per day. At first, he felt more alert. Then he noticed pins and needles in his toes. Weeks later, his walk changed. He couldn't feel the floor. His doctor ran tests, and, sure enough, B6 toxicity was the culprit. He never imagined something so healthy could sideline him like that. To prevent this, seniors should double-check those labels. B6 hides in more than just brain supplements. It's in energy blends, sleep aids, and even protein powders. Look for pyridoxine on the ingredients list and keep the total intake well below 100 milligrams. Better yet, go food first. Bananas, potatoes, and chickpeas are all great sources that don't overload the system. But while nerves control the body's movement, it's calcium and vitamin D that can tip the entire system out of balance. Excessive vitamin D intake can lead to serious health issues. Vitamin D is almost treated like a cure-all these days. Bone health, immunity, mood, even weight loss. It's the golden child of the supplement world. But here's the twist. Just because it's essential doesn't mean more is better. Especially for seniors, high doses without supervision can backfire hard. Vitamin D boosts calcium absorption, yes, but when taken in excess, it can lead to hypercalcemia, a condition where calcium floods the blood instead of settling in the bones. The symptoms start off vague: tiredness, nausea, maybe a bit of confusion. But behind the scenes, calcium's building up where it shouldn't be, in blood vessels, kidneys, soft tissues. That leads to kidney damage, muscle pain, and ironically, bone weakening. Seniors often miss these red flags, brushing them off as just aging, but in reality, their supplement routine might be sabotaging their health. It's a quiet, creeping issue that can steal quality of life if left unchecked. Picture someone like Margaret. She watches a health podcast that praises high-dose vitamin D. Wanting to avoid fractures, she starts taking 10,000 IU daily, without testing her blood levels. Months pass. She's fatigued, losing her appetite, and barely making it through her afternoon walk. Her doctor checks her calcium, off the charts. The verdict? Vitamin D overload. That little bottle of sunshine nearly knocked her out of her active life. The smarter move? Get a blood test first. If your doctor sees you're deficient, they'll guide you on safe levels, maybe 800 to 2,000 IU max for most seniors. Combine that with moderate sun exposure and calcium-rich foods like leafy greens, not just milk. And don't forget, calcium deposits from D overload don't just affect bones. They can also mess with balance, mood, and nerve signals. So when normal, aging symptoms show up, maybe it's time to question what's really behind them. Symptoms mimic aging, masking the real cause. It's one of the most overlooked traps in senior health, assuming every ache, every stumble, every tired afternoon is just old age. But what if those symptoms weren't aging at all? What if they were side effects of something as routine as a daily supplement? Fatigue, muscle weakness in seniors, balance issues. These can all be signs of vitamin-induced frailty, not simply getting older. And this misunderstanding delays real solutions. Think about it. When someone in their 60s or 70s starts feeling weaker or less steady, no one rushes to check their supplement routine. But what if they should? Excess vitamin D can cause hypercalcemia in the elderly. Vitamin B6 overuse leads to peripheral neuropathy. Too much vitamin A, bone loss from vitamins. Vitamin E toxicity, say goodbye to leg strength. These aren't fringe cases. They're quietly happening, masked by the belief that aging is the only enemy. Let's take Frank, a retired engineer who prides himself on staying active. Lately, he's been tripping over his own feet and needing more naps than usual. His family writes it off as dad's just slowing down. But his doctor notices something others miss. Frank's supplement stack includes high doses of E, A, D, and B6. After cutting back and adjusting under supervision, Frank's energy improves. His legs feel sturdier. Turns out, it wasn't age, it was accumulation. That's the shift we need, not to fear aging, but to investigate it. The key is awareness. When symptoms creep in, don't just assume the calendar is to blame. Question everything, especially what you're putting into your body, because the slow fade we think is inevitable might actually be reversible. And sometimes the smallest changes bring the biggest turnarounds. And that brings us to another dangerous habit, blindly taking supplements without ever stopping to evaluate why. Habitual supplement intake without evaluation is risky. For many seniors, taking supplements becomes as automatic as brushing their teeth. A multivitamin in the morning, a joint support blend after lunch, and maybe some vitamin D before bed. It feels responsible, even proactive. But here's the catch. When these pills are taken out of habit rather than need, they can quietly cause more harm than good. It's like pouring oil into an engine that's already full. Eventually, things start to break down. Most people don't realize how easy it is to exceed safe vitamin dosages. Over-the-counter vitamin risks are rarely emphasized, and combining fortified foods, multivitamins, and specialty blends can easily push intake far beyond recommended limits. This is especially dangerous for fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, and E, which accumulate in the body. The older the individual, the slower the metabolism, which means more buildup, and with that, greater chances of vitamin-induced frailty. Excess intake of certain vitamins has been directly linked to serious conditions. Vitamin A overdose is associated with accelerated bone loss, particularly in the hips and legs. High levels of vitamin B6 can trigger peripheral neuropathy, resulting in leg numbness and loss of coordination. Vitamin D toxicity leads to hypercalcemia in the elderly, causing confusion, fatigue, and kidney complications. Even vitamin E toxicity can disrupt neuromuscular function and cause leg strength decline. That's why habitual supplement use without proper evaluation is not just unnecessary, it's risky. Seniors should undergo regular nutritional assessments, review all sources of vitamin intake, and consult with healthcare professionals to ensure safe vitamin dosages. A reassessment every 6 to 12 months can significantly reduce supplement side effects and help maintain muscle strength and mobility. And this awareness leads to the next, most empowering truth. Knowledge is the first step to protecting your freedom and independence. Empowerment through awareness is the core message. One of the most powerful tools in senior health isn't a supplement or a treatment, it's awareness. When someone understands what's going on in their body, they can make smarter choices that truly support longevity and quality of life. Aging and nutrition go hand in hand, but not in the way we've been led to believe. It's not about stacking more pills, it's about asking better questions. What am I taking? Why am I taking it? Is it helping or quietly hurting? Nutritional safety for seniors isn't just about avoiding extremes. It's about striking balance. And that balance begins with simple steps. Requesting a full nutrient panel from your doctor, discussing every supplement you use, even the harmless ones, and reviewing dosages based on your current needs, not the assumptions of the past. These conversations are crucial. They help uncover hidden risks like bone loss from vitamins, or uncover early signs of peripheral neuropathy that might otherwise be brushed off. Empowerment doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means taking ownership and bringing your medical team into the conversation. Most doctors appreciate proactive patients. Asking for guidance on aging and supplements shows responsibility, not rebellion. And when real food becomes the primary source of nutrients, supplements can shift from a daily crutch to an occasional tool. The key is knowing when and how to use them, rather than relying on routine. This shift in mindset can protect leg strength, prevent falls, and preserve independence far longer than most medications ever could. It gives seniors the upper hand, the chance to age with clarity, not confusion. Because the most dangerous health threats aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they move slow, blend in, and go unnoticed until the damage is already done. Not all threats are dramatic. Some are gradual and unnoticed. When people think of health threats, they often imagine something sudden, a fall, a diagnosis, a sharp pain that demands attention. But many of the most dangerous issues don't make an entrance. They creep in slowly, almost politely, and by the time they're noticed, they've already stolen something valuable, like balance, mobility, or confidence. That's the case with vitamin-induced frailty. It doesn't scream. It whispers, disguising itself as just getting older. Muscle weakness in seniors doesn't always come from age or disease. In many cases, it's tied to excess intake of fat-soluble vitamins or over-the-counter supplements. These subtle contributors chip away at stability over months, sometimes years. They create patterns, shorter walks, longer rests, more hesitation on stairs, that people barely notice until a fall or injury forces the conversation. By then, leg strength decline may already be well underway. This is why elderly health awareness matters. It's not about avoiding vitamins altogether. It's about staying sharp to the less obvious dangers. A slow loss of mobility may not seem urgent at first, but it can be the start of a downward spiral. Reduced activity, muscle atrophy, increased fall risk. Preventing falls in old age isn't just about grab bars and canes. It's also about knowing what's happening inside your body and stopping the slide before it begins. And here's the good news. Small changes today can make all the difference tomorrow. Reassessing supplement use, reducing unnecessary dosages, prioritizing whole foods, and staying consistent with physical activity can restore confidence and strength. When you treat aging as a process you can influence, not just endure, you reclaim control. So now that you know, are your vitamins helping you or slowly holding you back? It's time to reassess, rethink, and take control. Don't wait for symptoms to force the change. Start today with awareness and action. If this opened your eyes, drop a comment below. Have you checked your supplement dosages lately? Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to keep learning how to stay strong, steady, and independent at every stage of life.